Hi everybody, it's Tommy Jo from Bird Street Studio, and I was working on a project. I was making these little tags. They're from the Digital Collage Club, and what happened was I originally did a whole video and showed you how I did these, and my camera was not working because I record on my phone and it was not recording. So I thought I'd just start over and explain why I did what I did and why I thought I wanted to record this for you. Anyways, I got this from the Digital Collage Club, and what I did, and I did it again, is I printed it on just regular copy paper. I did some labels too, but I'll put those aside. So I just did these on regular copy paper, and I realized that I want to make these to be like dangles, kind of, or to stick in skinny pockets or something. So I needed them firmer. I wanted to put eyelets in them. So the first group that I did, if you can look at this digital, they have little places for holes here. And when I went to put eyelet in there, it ripped that part right off. So as you're going to see as we go along, I'm going to cut that right off. I'm not going to use that part. So basically, what I wanted to show you was this is an ideal way to use up your old scrapbook papers that you don't normally use. So I have some over here on my, let me see. I have a pile of papers here, but I have, where are they? I coffee dyed some of them. And I have like these, okay? I probably won't ever use. So let's get 2 of them. I mean, there's so many. I have pads of them. Where are we? Like, look. I mean, I have pads of these papers, and there's like this I would use, but there are some that I just would not. Well, this is a good pack, but the ones, maybe this one is one, has bright colors in that I probably would not, like this, I would not use that, you know. Probably not that either, unless I was doing like a baby journal or something. I might. This I wouldn't use. So what I've done is I did a video before about how I altered some papers, and I also, just the other day, I was doing some coffee dyeing, and I actually coffee dyed the backs of some of them, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use those for. But anyways, let's use these here. These are 2 that I probably would not use in my journals. So the idea of using these is so that I can strengthen these to get an eyelet through and to make them substantial. And when I did the first ones, let me kind of show you real quick. I just put 1 sheet of paper on the back, and I had an issue with the eyelets. Here you can see, not those, these 2 right here. I had an issue with the eyelets when I just had 1 sheet of paper. The eyelets were almost dangerous. They were sharp because they didn't have enough to clench down on. So I ended up putting a piece of craft paper. You know me, I saved craft paper. I put some craft paper on there and just tried to punch the hole through, and they'll be okay, but I wasn't crazy over that finish. Then I did this where I put another piece of paper on, another piece of digital paper, and they're not as dangerous. They don't pull as much, but they are white. So then I went ahead and backed them in craft, and look at how beautiful these eyelets look. So these right here are made with the actual digital, 2 layers of old scrap paper, and a layer of, well, you've seen it. I use just craft like this. So that's what they are. Now, I could go ahead and do these on cardstock. I use a 110 index in my printer, but even a 110 index is not as sturdy as this. I could also back them on to, I saved cardboard. So, I mean, I save cardboard, so I could back it on cardboard. That would work too. But the point here was I wanted to use up some of my scrap paper that I don't use. So that's the only reason I did it this way. And to be honest with you, I just love them. I love the thickness of them. They're not as heavy as like a cereal box cardboard, but they're much heavier than my 110 index. So I love that. So that's what we're going to make today. And that's why I'm taking you along with me, to show you how you can, you know, do these. So basically what I did is I cut these, and you could use your cutter. I just grabbed my scissors and I cut a lot of the white off of these. And the other thing was, when I first did it, they have holes already designated here. When I tried to put my eyelet through there, it ripped it all apart. So I cut those right off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that right off. Now it does leave part of the hole, if you can see it right there, but I can distress ink that and cover it. So I'm literally just cutting straight across, because what I'm trying to do is get rid of as much of the weight paper as I can. Okay, and I'm going to do the same to this one. And you can do this with any kind of tags that you get in digitals or that you create yourself. You can print them on paper and then just back them in cardboard, cardstock that you don't use. I have an array of, I have a Ziploc bag full of cardstock pieces that I could actually cut one or two of these out and back them on that if I wanted. But I'm going to use up this paper. So basically, I want to use my glue stick, and I want to make sure I have full coverage because I'm not going to sew around these. So when you're not sewing, you want to make sure that you have really good glue coverage so that your edges don't come up. And I could glue this to this side, but I don't want this to show on the back. And then I'm just going to lay this on here. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same to the other one and lay it right down there. Now, if you're only going to do, you know, like one part of these at a time, you could save this piece that I'm adding glue to right now and just put it in your, you know, your things to be cut out, fussy cut or whatever, however you store them. I don't know how you store your elements. And just cut this out and then put it on here. But I'm going to do it like this. And I'm going to put it right up here close to the top because I can save that strip for something. I just got a wrinkle there. Not that it'll make a difference because I'm going to cut that off, but you just want to make sure that you're all the way stuck down, okay? Then we're going to cut this right here. And now I have another piece, and just because it would be too hard for me to glue this on and get it down flat all in one big piece, I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half again. Like just cut right down through here. And I'm going to cut these little pieces off right here. It just makes it easier for me to lay it down here and know that I'm totally on that piece of paper. I'm going to do the same to this one. I have a wrinkle right here. Okay, got it. Okay. Then I want to do the same exact thing. I want to go ahead and glue these because this is like, now that I've got it on one piece of paper, it's kind of like printing it on, I don't know, an 80-pound paper. It's heavy, but I know that when I go to put the eyelet through it, it won't go through well. So we're going to glue again. And again, like I said, apply lots of glue on your edges because you want to make sure that, that it lays down well for you and you get full coverage and that none of the edges are going to come up because we're going to cut these out. So we need to make sure that they're stuck really well. I just take the back of my scissors and go across. If you have a bone folder, you can use that. I think I have one right here. But if you don't, you can just use the back of your scissors. Okay, and then we want to glue the other one as well. So we want to glue this one as well. I'm always looking for ways to use up my scrapbook paper. In my scrapbooking days, I got these papers like, I don't want to tell you how old I am, but I'm old as dirt. So we're talking about over 50 years ago. Okay, I think maybe it was over 40 years ago. Okay, so now they're on well. Now I want to cut them out again. So this is the piece I'm going to save right here. And then I'm going to cut these in half again. And I'm going to put them on this craft paper. That one, and this is a real thin craft, so, and I have an abundance of this, so I'm not worried about using that up. But that one little thin piece makes the difference of how that grommet sets. Grommet, the eyelet, how the eyelet grabs the back and it lays flat. All the little pieces lay flat, so it's not like real dangerous. Because sometimes that's like cut metal and bent metal, and it will cut you if you're not careful. So this makes it so much better. And I'm putting it down in the, towards the edge, because I do save this extra paper. And again, make sure you go all the way to the edge. You don't want them to peel apart. But it doesn't matter if you have some wrinkles, as long as the edges are tight. And then I'm just going to cut this piece off and this piece off. And these will go in my my neutrals to put on the backs of ephemera, so you have writing space. I'm going to do the same thing to this one, so I need to get another piece. So I hope everybody's doing well. I did this whole, like I said, I did this whole video and then realized that it was not recording. So this is like a total repeat. I feel like you know how you have that deja vu? This is truly a deja vu moment. Haven't I said that before? Yep. Okay. So we're going to again put this down towards the bottom so we can save some of this craft paper. Okay. Make sure that you push out to all the edges so you know that they're all stuck well. And we're going to cut off these pieces. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of these, okay, but I'll just take one sheet. Take one sheet and show you what I did. Okay, so we went ahead and cut the tops of these off where they had the holes kind of sort of punched. So I'm going to cut straight across there. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it only has to be as perfect as you need it to be. And then we're going to try to cut like the way it was die cut, sort of. But my cutting skills aren't the best, so you'll see that. And I'm going to cut down to here. And I'm going to cut straight across here. And then I'm going to cut this side of this one. And this is kind of, it's heavier now that we've got, you know, actually like 3 sheets of paper on the back. So it's like 4 total layers. So it is a little heavy, but just take your time. These are pretty simple to cut out. I'm going to go ahead and cut these and I'll kind of fast forward it. Or I'll come back when I got them all cut, one or the other. Okay, I'm back and I went ahead and cut all of these out. The whole sheet, and I started to distress, so I just kind of wanted to show you. I'm using vintage photo and the main thing is this little half circle. If you distress, you almost don't even notice it, and once we get the eyelets in, you definitely won't notice it. But you do want to distress, and you've got layers here, so it's got a lot of a white edge, and you want to disguise that white edge with your distress ink or whatever you use to distress. And I usually do both sides. I'll go ahead and fast forward or come back once I have them all distressed, and then we'll work on getting the eyelets in. Okay, so we've got them all distressed front and back, and then we want to go ahead, and these are so cool. They're pretty heavy. I mean, not too heavy. I mean, obviously bendable, but significant in feel. So then we want to get our Crop-A-Dile out, and my Crop-A-Dile came, this part of the video is probably for kind of beginners, but my Crop-A-Dile came with not very good instructions. It came, as you can see, I got this, I don't know, 15 years ago, and I still have the original piece that came, that was in there with it. This was when I first tried my first one. But anyways, it's We Are Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dile, and it makes 2 size holes, and you can use 2 different size eyelets with it. And it doesn't really explain particulars like how to set it up. So for me, it was a lot of hit and miss, and I wasted a lot of eyelets doing it. But anyways, getting to the point, it came with, your Crop-A-Dile comes with, these are your hole punches right here, this one and this one. So this is the large and this is the small. Well, it tells you right on the edge what size. So this is a 3/16, so just shy of a 1/4 inch. And this one is a 1/8. And it tells you right on the side, on your slide. These slides, you can move back and forth so that when you put your paper in, it acts as a stop. Let me turn it this way. It acts as a stop, so I could move this forward. In this case, to do these, I moved the stop from back here up forward so that I knew how far in it was going to punch, okay? So I can put this in, and as long as I'm centered this way, I know that all of them will be the same depth onto my tab. And you do that by just turning this and moving your stop. Then you have, so that's for hole punching. Then you have the parts for your eyelets. And both of these sides pop down and move, and they turn based on what you're going to use them for. And I want this one on, they have numbers and letters. I had to go on to YouTube to figure out how this works. I need a sip of coffee, just a minute. So anyways, to do the 1/8 inch grommets, I need to use the very small punch here, and this is a very kind of a pointy edge right in there. So, and I learned that by going onto YouTube and figuring out what I had to use for what size eyelets. So basically, the first thing we want to do is punch our holes. Oh, and the other thing is, before I do that, my Crop-A-Dile came with these 3/16 inch eyelets. There are a few different colors. And let me see what it says. It says it came with a whole bunch, and I've used a whole bunch. I mean, I've only bought more once of that size. So does it tell me how many? I thought it told me how many it came with. Oh, 240 piece eyelets. So that's how many I've used. I mean, I bought extras once. But anyways, but it comes with the 3/16. But for a different project, I needed smaller ones. So let me show you. These are small ones. These are the 1/8 inch. So I had to go onto Amazon, and I did buy a package from Amazon. And this package came with 200 pieces. So they say, I didn't count them. But they are much smaller comparatively. Let's show you. See the difference in their size. Get rid of these here. Look at the difference in the size. And we want to use these small ones. And I needed to use small ones for a different project. That's why I ordered them. And I just thought they would be perfect for this project. So I'm just going to put these down on my mat. I'm going to need a few more, but for now that's good. I'm going to show you how we punch the hole and how we put our eyelets in. So basically, I want to have all these tops. Like I said, I've already adjusted the stop because I made the other ones where it needed to go. And you do that by just loosen this knob, and you can move this stop forward and backwards. So I'm going to turn this sideways so you can see how the stop works. It stops my piece from going any further in. So if I know I'm kind of at the center of this side by side, I can just punch the hole, and on all of them it should be the same, because I'm putting the tag in just to the stop. So we want to push it into the stop, punch our hole. And these little pieces get, they get caught in here, so you can't see down that hole. If you don't use your stop, then you're going to want to look in that hole and see if you've got something centered or not. But if you use your stop, that doesn't matter too much. Perfect. Perfect. So we've got all our holes punched. And like I said, I already set the eyelet side here and the receiving end right here. So this will be the back part, and this will be what goes down through the eyelet. So I also know that these were hard for me to pick up with my fingernails. So I'm going to use my tweezers. And I want to get one of these and put it through this hole, but I can't get it through the hole. So I just need it to be in the right area so that I can push it kind of down through that hole. Okay, and when I get it through, it'll be flush on this side, and this side, if you can see, it sticks out a little bit. And then the easiest way for me to do it is to take my crocodile upside down, kind of, so that the part that goes through the front is down, and I can lay this on it and up through it. So if you can see, I don't know if you can see that. And then push it together. And it gives us a real nice finish on this side because I have so many layers of the paper on the back, and look how pretty that is. So let's do another one. I don't want to struggle with my nails, so let's see if we can get it up here and on. And this hole, you just have to kind of push it a little bit around there. And again, I'm going to hold it so that I can put mine on there. Squeeze, and it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. Okay, when I put it on, I don't know, let me see. I'm going to stand up and see if you can see this. You can see where if I take this in, I can see, well, I got to turn it this way maybe. I can see where I'm putting it right here, and then I clamp it down. Perfect. So I'll go ahead and do the rest, and then we will come back. It figures that towards the end is where I kind of figure it all out, right? So I figured out that if I put this through here and then use that as the guide, so much easier to get in. Okay, there we go. How cute are those? And then these can go on your pages. They can be like dangles. They can be tags that you put in a little, one of the narrower pockets, whatever. But look, I got all of these already done. And then, you know, if you want to decorate them, you can stamp on them. You can add something to it, like this one right here. See, I don't know where I'm going to put these, so I'm not really sure what I want to put on them. But let me see if there's one that will go in my bee journal, because, you know, we're working on things for your bee journal. That might be good. This one has a little bee on it, but you can't see it real well. And then these are the same. So let's look at these, and let's pull the folder for my bee journal down and see if we have something that'll go on it. Maybe we have some tags. Not sure I have anything real small, but let's just see. These are all pieces that I have these digitals, so if I need to cut something out and add something, I can certainly do that. I kind of like that. There's a little bee. How cute is that? But let's see. Oh, there's a ticket. And here's like, these are like stamps. Oh, that might be kind of cute, huh? Kind of covers up that flower, but I kind of like it. Let's put that one there. And then I'm gonna try and, I like this little bee. Let me see if I have anything else that, see if I cut this bee off, I could actually use this digital as just a wildflower. It doesn't have to be in the bee journal. Let's see what we can do with this one. We can add this little bee. Wow, he's tiny. Okay, I want to pull my, see what I have in my tags here. Oh my gosh, I have a lot that would probably match really cool. I think I need something just a little skinnier. Oh, I think I like that. So let's hold this one aside, and we'll decorate these two for the bee journal. I'm gonna go ahead and put all this stuff away so it's not all out here. We have really been adding ephemera to this bee journal. It's really cool, so I'm excited. I'll be excited when we get started on it. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Looks to me like we just need to maybe distress this label. And we can actually just use a glue stick, excuse me, for both of these elements. I have to go get my granddaughter in a minute. Okay, let's put it like right here. I have to pick her up from school. Okay. With small pieces, I just run them across the top of my glue stick. Oops. Hey. Actually, I want that to come down. There we go. Oh, I like it. And then when we go to put this together, if we want to add something here, we have room to dangle something else or whatever. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and distress this. And then I think I want to maybe just clip the edges a little. So they're not all pointy. Oh, I like it. Okay. How easy is that? So these came out really cute. And again, like I said, you can do this with any of your tags. Oh, I think I like it back down here. You can do this with any of your tags that you print out on paper. Just back them with your old scrapbooking paper or whatever to give them some dimension. And these are pretty substantial. Like, it feels like cardstock. It actually looks like cardstock because we have the craft paper back here. But anyways, I hope you like this little project, and maybe you got a little bit of help on using the crocodile if you're a beginner. If you're experienced, that you already knew all that. And how to use up some of your scrapbook paper and craft paper. Hello. So here we go. I've got all these, and then these two are going to go in my bead journal for ephemera. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. I really appreciate my subscribers, past, present, and future. You really are helping my channel grow, and I so enjoy that. And it's kind of exciting to be part of the community and see it growing and interact with everybody. So leave a comment if you have ideas of something you want to see, or you just want to comment on something that I do. Maybe you know of a better way to do something. I'm always open for suggestions. So take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.